2 letters, 1 word, the meaning of life. Yeah. How we doing, bye? Previously on Kimba TV.
There could be a potential where this goes up again, right? I don't know if it's going to make a new all-time high. I wouldn't want it to. I would want it to find resistance. We go all the way back down to 66, 67. I get into I add another 500 Bitcoin long. I get into my ETH long. I get into my DOG. I get into my XRP. I get into my Jasmy. I get into my Tau. I get into all the shit that I want to get into. Elections happen. FOMC happens. Everything's still Gucci. We're still cutting rates. We pop.
Hey, that daylight savings time kind of crept up on me, y'all. Oh my God, so it's 7:18, but it feels like 6:18, huh? Fuck. Maybe like an hour, but I'll dip out for about an hour around 9:30. So we got about 2 hours to hang out. I got a work call, and then we got all day together. How we doing? Any questions? First things first, shout outs to everybody that was here for the surprise Saturday stream. How many of y'all were here for the surprise Saturday stream? And then how many of y'all were here? How many of y'all got caught up on it, even if you missed it? How many of y'all got caught up on it, even if you missed it? So you know exactly what the levels are, you know what the plan is. All right, everybody good to go? So let me know if you guys have any questions. The levels really haven't changed too much. Obviously, we had the ETH. And it got filled, so that's pretty normal. And then we're gonna be waiting for the RTH gap. Y'all ready? Just kind of looking at all this. Excuse me. McNasty, apologies. Just kind of looking at this. Pixel Perfect 7.5. Damn, man, I wish it was a 3 drives and we cleaned all of it. Yeah. So it would be nice to maybe sweep the weekend lows if, so that's an easy long, obviously. I mean, we could talk about another trident and, see for some sort of 7.5 pullback, but assuming that this holds, we'll be looking for the VWAP and the swing high for a possible short. Alrighty. I think it's pretty straightforward math. So, yeah, if it comes back here, or even better, cleans the single prints down here, then I think that's a pretty easy long like we talked about on Saturday. If it just goes, then the next trade setup would probably be a short around this zone, somewhere around here. Obviously, we'll have to look at the data. Alrighty. Pretty easy, I think. So value area low is 69.5. So that's going to be resistance for a little bit. Obviously you get claim, you turn that into support, and then we can get our rotation here. So while we get rejected there, we'll see what kind of long opportunities we have down here. Schwiggity! With this historical election coming up, are we expecting instant violent madness or calm before the storm? Pfft, man, I'm not going to get too caught up in it. I'm going to be in my fucking, I'm going to be up in my own little sky. I'm going to be up here. I'm going to just be Latucheing up right here in the penthouse, you know what I'm saying? Kicking it with the lions. That's a Latuche in my hand, okay? And that's the smoke. Everybody is, chaos all over the fucking place. I don't give a shit, dude. I'm going to just be level to level, baby. I'm sure it's going to be a shit show, but I don't. Hopefully it's all chill, man. Hopefully it's all chill. But I'm going to take it level by level. You know what I mean? I hope nothing weird happens. All right. You know, we're looking, you know, for a long. And I would love to short like 70,500. Sounds Gucci. Vano says, show us Exo. Vano, make sure you rewind and get caught up, okay? Did you hear what we said about Exo? Yep, the rewind is already up, so make sure you guys get caught up, okay? Yeah, you don't really need to be looking at Exo. Do you understand why? What happened? Exclamation rewind. Exclamation rewind. All right, make it a habit. Oops, that's not the song. Let's go, Lions! Who juicing? Pumper Dave says, why not? Exclamation rewind and then exclamation YouTube. All right, this week we have elections and FOMC, so it's a little bit more important to be watching boo gammas and traditional markets. Yeah, so usually for like a big Fed week like this week, we usually watch S&P and Nasdaq. So traditional markets are going to be a little bit more important. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll look at, you know, the EXO when it reaches our critical levels. All right, but like the TA that I did this morning had nothing to do with longs being trapped or shorts being trapped. It's just, you know, basic math. All right. Pumper Dave says, oh, gotcha. Didn't know FOMC was this week. Yeah, we got elections on Tuesday, FOMC on Wednesday and Thursday, and then weekly options expirations on Friday. So, yeah, usually on a week, you know, filled with traditional finance news, I usually will focus on boo gammas. So make sure you get caught up on the Friday YouTube highlights, Pumper Dave, because we kind of talked about how we were going to prepare for this week. All right. Math. Yeah, but Pumper Dave, let me know if you have any questions, man. And also exclamation rewind, because we already did the TA for this morning. Okay, so I'm gonna be looking for longs if there is a chance. I mean, you know that. I mean, that's always been the plan, right? So there's a deviation possibility around the 7.5, 7.86. You also have a single print. Over the weekend, I would have loved a 3 drives. So that's still possible. Obviously, I'm a big level to level guy, so you do have a yellow line right there at 67,000. So anything in here, as long as it's a swing fail, like it does some shit like this, like it goes back in and it gets above here, I think that's an easy long. I think this one's a little bit of a harder long because you would think you're gonna clean the weekend lows. All right, so that's about it. So, you know, I would love to maybe see if there's a long here or a long down here. And then another shorting opportunity would be if we get all the way up to around here and this VWAP. So if this continues to drop, like if we do some shit like this and we do like shit like this, I think we'll go lower one more time and then pop. Okay? If this holds and it leaves it like this, that's even better confluence for the short. Alrighty, so we'll see if CME can actually hold here. We don't know how low it's gonna go. We don't know if the golden pocket's gonna hold. We don't know if the 7.5 is gonna work. This would be a little bit more ideal. Okay, but we're gonna have to take it level by level. So if I were gonna look at EXO, I would look at EXO here. Okay, to see if bottom shorters got trapped. Ka-choy! All right, or if all the weekend longs got stopped out. Make sense? But it's level to level. But we can't predict the future. Maybe there's a small chance they hold this. I doubt it. I think if bulls were gonna really step in, it would be here. So we'll see what the level is here. But the best one would be like a clean 3 drives. Okay, and then if we do get up into like the 70,500s or 70,900s, I might be looking for a possible short. And again, it would depend on the reaction. So just like how we were talking about this short, you know, this is an opportunity too. So we'll have to see the data, okay? Identify the levels to the upside, okay? We have this level identified, we have this level identified, and we have this level identified. We have this level identified, we have that high identified, which is that swing high, and then from swing high, swing low, wherever the low is, whether this is the actual low, or like if this starts to do this, then this is the low, and then the golden pocket and the 7.5 is right here too. All right. But yeah, exclamation rewind. Get caught up on the morning thang. All right. The most important thing is you put your stop loss at break even as soon as you can. Don't lose any money this week. Forget trying to juice the fuck up. Your main priority is risk management. Don't have big losses this week. All right, so show me that you know what you're doing, chat. Show me that, prove to yourself that you can do the right thing. Okay, for those of you that just saw this, what do you guys think about dip a little bit into it, but get out? Okay, this is the third 30-minute candle close. All right, so we'll see if the gap plays, yes? Zazima says it's mathing, and then you see how this is the point of control. So it's almost like entry, previous candle low, and then obviously you're taking this to the highs. But we'll see, huh? So open, point of control. Okay, you're betting that it's going to go higher than the open. Stop loss. Juice is juice and math is math, bitch. Stop the music, stop the music. Alpeasy always asking some good ass shit. What? So after today's price action, you're not looking to short 70.571 zone as aggressively. That's a negative, Alpeasy. This long is gonna try to be, you know, held towards 76 now. Yeah. So here's the thing, Alpeasy. There are other things that may make me short. Okay, just because I say, no, I don't think I want to short 70.571 anymore, you better not be mad at me if I end up actually having a swing high short. Okay? You have to be able to, and I'm not talking about you, Alpeasy, but in general, you got to be able to look at the data, Lion Cubs, and see for yourself if it's bullish or bearish. So for example, Alpeasy, if we get to that swing high, okay, and it structurally does a swing fail on the 30-minute candle close, I'm gonna think, that might be a little bearish. If we go up there and not only do we do a swing fail pattern, but at the very top of the fucking wick, Yabba Dabba Doo and Sato shows up with a new 100K depot and he top longs, I might want to short that. Alrighty. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, am I shorting because I'm bearish? Have I ever shorted because I'm bearish the last 6 months? Not once. You just said. I'm shorting because I don't want to TP the longs I have from lower than 65. Okay? And I will be way more reckless, way more aggressive with taking shorts because guess what? If I'm wrong, not only do I get tiny bit of profit, I get to scam market pump in the direction of my longs. I'm getting paid to market smash in the way that I'm originally betting. So I don't need the perfect short. For me to get into a 500, 600, 700, 1,000 Bitcoin short, I can't do that until the all-time high is swept. It's stupid. It's just common sense, I think. If CME sweeps the all-time high, but derivatives don't, derivatives and spot will sweep. That's just, I don't know if you're blind or what's going on, but that's what happens every single time in the last 12 years or the last 7 years or whatever since that CME has been around. But that being said, since I'm bullish, I don't mind taking shorts wherever I feel like there could be a juicy opportunity. Because if I'm wrong, I just get stopped out and I'm market pumping up anyways. Yeah. So you really got to be paying attention, but I'm doing the same exact thing that I've been saying and planning and doing. So this is why you guys got to be paying attention. But in the last 6, 7, 8 months, I don't know how this is going to continue forever. I mean, people are just not going to understand. People are going to cut corners. People are going to have their own biases that interfere with the thought process. So yeah, the thing is, you know, everybody needs to be prepared. Everybody needs to have a plan, and everybody needs to man up and execute when they have that opportunity presented in front. All right. So do what you think is right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so let me ask you this, ladies and gentlemen. How many of y'all got filled just now? Anybody got filled just now? This is now the maybe 4th time in the last couple of weeks that we have seen the Macaulay Culkin gap resumption play. So hands up if you have seen this before. Hands up if you have seen this before. All right, everybody good to go? Any questions? Does anybody have any questions moving forward? Vayekra says, not me. Okay, that's okay. But you got to see one today, right? So I narrated the whole thing. Did it make sense? What I want you to do is every time there's a gap, whether it's to the downside like this or whether it's to the upside, I want you to see, and remember, just seeing it one time is not good enough. You got to see it hundreds and thousands of times. How many lion cubs remember me talking about the 7.5 to 0.5? How many lion cubs remember the first time that you saw it happen? And now how many of you lion cubs are like, I've seen it 100 times. I've seen it dozens of times. It makes sense to see it many, many times. Okay? Because I don't want you to trust me or take my word for it. I want you to trust the math and your experience of seeing the probabilities play out. You mean where it takes only a little bit of the gap and continues up? There you go, David. Exactly. Yeah, to the downside or to the upside, but it's a partial fill. And it's a concept that we've talked about many times. If you go dip into the gap and then get back out, that means the other move is still in play. But if you spend a hell of a long time in that gap, then you usually rotate to the other side, right? How many of you guys have seen that? You guys can rely on that. You guys can count on that. And you're not going to cry if it doesn't work out one fucking time. You understand that you got to see it 60 times, 70 times out of 100. And that's when you know that it's working. Shadow says the weekend low high sweep was the thing that will always stick with me for sure. Because it swept the weekend lows. But Shadow, how many times has it swept the weekend high too? Right, Shadow? Yeah, it's because it's weak liquidity. It's almost like you're thinking that none of the institutional traders are trading, right? Because they're taking the weekend off. It's the retail dum-dums that are setting the lows and highs. So when the big boys get back in the office, the big dogs, they will set the low and the high, not retail. So it's kind of like this, yo, get the fuck out of my way type of shit. Okay. So what do you think about this? So you guys got, this is now maybe the 4th or 5th time, but You know, if you, for example, if your tolerance is only 3 or 4 30-minute candle closes, then you kind of understand that, hey, you're starting to, you got to get the fuck out. This is fantastic. Okay. This is your point of control. And so if you wanted to long here, you can start entering from POC. You can even pull fibs and do whatever. But that sort of low that you set in the gap is the stop loss. Because the concept is you're changing structure back in the box again. So now you're going to be thinking, fuck, it's going to stay in here. And then eventually you spend too much time, you rotate to the other side type of shit. The dominoes start to fall. You theoretically have made a higher high now on the 30-minute. You would like to see the body close above this wick, which is what basic strategy says. So you would want this 30-minute candle close with the body to close above that line. So in 24 minutes, holy fuck, that's a long time. You got to hate those. But in 24 minutes, this 30-minute candle, if the body is outside of this wick, then that would be ideal because you can continue to have structure. How we doing? Single prints. Any questions, Actorly? But in general, yeah, you know, if you got a long from here, if you have a long from here, if you have a long from here, you know, whatever it is, if you have a short from here, stop loss and profit. And let's get after it again tomorrow. You guys Gucci Magucci? Zazima, talk to me. And, you know, the most important thing is you just see it for yourself, man, you know, so you can trust it. All right. So lots of like basic concepts at play: structure change, candle closes, higher high, higher lows, gap filling, gap fill, but not mine, you know. Yeah, man, let's see what happens. Ideally, we can ride this bitch all the way up to like the, you know, 71s or higher, but we got to get above 69.5, and we got a lot of work to do, ladies and gentlemen. What about short Pico Kiss single print? For sure, yeah, I mean, there's definitely short opportunities too. The single prints line up with rotational value area high, so you might be able to count on like some sort of 7.5 thang. You know what I mean? So what I mean by that is like a dink. So even if this short is a bad idea, you still might be able to buy yourself enough time to put stop loss at break even, basically. Because you also have a little bit of value, you know. So grab the single print, value area high, rotate, do some sort of like POC bullish retest. That could be a thing too. Dink. Lots of different things. Just make sure you guys have all this stuff. But in general, what I'm hoping is that the 67 long is going to work out. But we'll see, I guess. So stop loss below wick in a gap is a good idea. If you have other things that are already making you want to go long, okay? You would never take that as the foundation of your trade. I aim one and take a long. Oh, gap fill, stop loss below the wick. Let me take it. No. Okay, you already had this level identified. Were you here on Saturday? You already had this level identified. You were already thinking about 6'7", 180 entry, boy. Dude, y'all are fucking, how the fuck do y'all have better entries than me? That's fucked up. That's fucked up in a good way, So levels are identified. A lot of different ways to play this. You've got the most aggressive being the gap and gambling, basically betting, if you will, that you're not going to get a gap fill. You've got an easy invalidation there. If it starts to gap fill, well, you've got your traditional golden poquito and a little bit of a trident play. All right. Aside from saying, hey, this is a good level or this is a good level, what you got to do is be able to see, does anything give you edge anywhere? All right. So, too bad you didn't get enough bottom shoulders trapped there. You would have loved to have gotten a lot more bottom shoulders trapped there. Did not happen. All right. All it really did was it had some favorable reactions. So we had a swing fail and tap of the value area low, but also the main volume point of control. Okay. And you gapped to the up. All right. Good low, volume tapped, pixel perfect, 786, continuation, gap, dip your toes in, get out. You still want that 30-minute body candle close up there. So you got 16 more minutes. I'm here with y'all watching the shit. Can't predict the future, but we know what things would lead to. Liga, what's your TP on that thing? What's your TP on that thing, Liga? Longers, what's your TP? Are you going to ride it to 76 or are you going to still shave around like the 71? Marcus smashed more longs when it bounced back up 67,000. Brother, if that was the way in which you wanted to execute and you executed in that fashion because that's how you prepared and planned, then I'm all for it. But if you did it but I think you've been here long enough, Liga, that there's no way that you just emotionally reacted. You were ready. I like that. You know what I mean? But just be careful, okay? Especially when we get into election time or FOMC. All right, Liga. But if that was your plan, because that's the way that you've seen really quick SFPs, and you were tired of getting left at the train station, and that's the way that you adapted and evolved and learned, then that's awesome. Because it worked. So, but you know what I always say, right? You know what I'm about to say, right? I can't tell if you really know what you're doing based off of how you entered. If you were market smashing, it's kind of hard to put complementary stop losses, right? So you could have gotten, kind of, you're market smashing, go fuck yourself. Kind of hard to put a stop loss on that lower low. But I didn't think it'll hit the limits at 66750, 66650, 66550. It only hit 66850. Well, I love the preparatory work. I love how you identified the levels, man. So, yeah, I mean, you're a big boy. You know exactly what's going on. You know how to take responsibility for your own actions. So, and I know that you know what you're doing. So, have a great night, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you guys tomorrow, bright and early. Bugatti.